Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl JoJo, and I'm here with the review for Ready to Love. This is season 3, and I think we're on episode 5. Y'all know how I do. I hope y'all are doing good today. So, I will let you know that a lot was going on this episode as it was last episode. I do have a lot of notes, but I want to try to do a direct upload. I do not want to have to go in, edit my stopping points, and then create a video because that takes a long time on my computer, and I hate to hold y'all up any further in getting the review out. I like to just go ahead and put it directly out. So if you see me pause to read, if y'all could just excuse me today, I would appreciate it. And then, as far as in the future, they'll probably have to be edited because I do have to read my notes for a minute. All right, so let's start it out. We have Brian and Alex. They're working out. Chris is out there too. He's on the treadmill. And after they get finished, they have a conversation about his date with Alicia. He felt like the date went okay, but he had to see his Alex before he went to bed. Alex said she was in the room comfortable with the bonnet. That's exactly why I would have had a problem with this whole resort thing. That's number one. But number two, that's why I don't like video. I don't like any type of video chat. Zoom, Duo, FaceTime. I don't like any of it. I will not answer because when I'm home, sometimes I look all right, but a lot of times, honey, y'all do not want to see me in my full comfort zone. I'm telling you. But anyway, we move on, and Denise and Rashid have a conversation. So I'm happy that they got to sit down and talk. I'm not really sure if the right thing came out of it, though, because when they start the conversation, Denise was like, I want to apologize on behalf of Adriana for telling you the way that she did, because she didn't really explain it right. I did not call you a narcissist, and I did go and I pulled the receipts, because that's what I do. I did pull it. And she didn't call him a narcissist outright. She said that there are certain traits that he has that reminds her of a narcissistic ex that she was with. She did say that, but she still alluded to the fact that Rashid was narcissistic. And then the stuff that she explained were very kind of like external characteristics that I don't know if I would necessarily include in being the definition of narcissistic. Is more so your person. Now, she did say the luxury everything part, all of that. So she apologizes on behalf of Adriana. She doesn't really feel, I guess, that she needs to offer Rashid any apologies. And she tells him, look, I'm sorry for the way that she presented it to you, but I'm just telling you there's certain things about you that triggered me, because they were things that happened in my past. And again, you guys, I'm not saying Denise is wrong for being triggered. What triggers you is what triggers you. I'm saying Denise is wrong for taking things that she experienced in her past relationship and trying to apply them to everybody, even when she don't know them. That is my only issue. That is it, okay? She broke it down for Rashid, though, and Rashid understood a little better. He still didn't like it. But I do like the way he handled it. He didn't get loud, or he didn't get like super, super offended. I think because he realized this really don't have nothing to do with me. This is more so how you feel about your past, and I'm reminding you of it. So, I guess fine. I guess if that's where they gonna leave it. I just thought it was funny when she was like, I would like to apologize on behalf of Adriana. Because you thought that she was about to apologize, but that part was funny. All right. But Denise says, she's famous for it is what it is. Okay, and she gets up and that's it. So Edwin and Naya have a date. They had a good date, and I was glad to see that she was interested in more than one person. I was getting a little concerned that she probably, well, not concerned. It's okay if her and Chris get sent home if they like each other, but I didn't want her to want to stay in the competition if it was a chance that, if she wanted to stay, I didn't want her to be there and not explore other options. Okay, so she did explore other options with Edwin, and Edwin is a talker. Edwin is a talker. I did figure that out this episode, but it doesn't really bother me if that's what I'm a listener, so I don't mind listening to other people talk as long as we can have an exchange of dialogue. But he's telling her about his dog tags and everything that he went through, seeing friends get killed in Iraq when he was in the service, and how he had to put those things down momentarily because he wants to open himself up to something new, and sometimes you can't focus on what you're trying to do when you're thinking about things in your past. She says something similar. She's had some death in her families that were close together. I think it was her grandmother. Was it her mother? but it was two deaths that were close together, women in her family. And she also had four miscarriages, so she understands loss and trying to get yourself in a space where you can open up and move forward and be accepting of the love that's trying to come to you without bringing in all of these other things in your past. So that was a conversation that they connected on, and I felt like they had good interaction, and it was good. I was glad to see her out with somebody else, and I was glad to see Edwin with somebody else as well. I do wonder if Edwin has gotten any therapy for that, because I know how sometimes that can go with being in the service. Sometimes I know how it can go. And so I just hope that he also went and got himself some help and wasn't ashamed of it. Let's see. Okay, Alicia. Child. So So they all are sitting down having a conversation, and it's all about Alicia and Brian and the situation that did not happen the way that it was supposed to, because Brian said he was coming back to the room. So it's some of the girls, and then Anthony and Chris are there as well, and they're just kind of listening. And Alicia was like, if I invited you to my room, Chris, and you never came back, like, Chris, what you got to say about that? Chris was floored. He didn't know what to say. He was just like, blah, blah, blah. And Anthony, he must have felt the same, because he was just like, I don't really know. But they do agree that Brian should have said something. He at least should have just been direct and said, maybe not tonight, maybe some other time. But he didn't do any of those. So now he's in the hot seat when it comes to Alicia, and really all the rest of the girls too. Shay is there, okay, the old town crier, telling all the business, sipping up all the tea, and Anthony is looking at her like, what is Shay here for? I said, exactly, Anthony. That's what all of us are wondering. She seems to just be in the jar. You gotta be a plant to act the way that Shay acted on this episode, but I'm gonna get to it in just a minute. In the words of Jocelyn Hernandez, why is you here? Why is you here? That is how I felt when I was looking at her. So then they bring up the topic of Simone and what Simone did in regards to Jay and Joy when they were sitting on the couch. And Winter decides, you know what, let's just have a real grown woman conversation. And Anthony talking about, I like that. That's what I'm talking about. A real grown. I said, that's what I'm talking about too. Okay, let's just go talk about it. So they go and they pull Simone. They have a conversation. And I like the way that Simone copped to the fact that she was wrong. She was just like, you know what, that was an insecure moment on my part. It was very immature of me to go and do something like that. I apologize to you, Joy, for how you felt, and I apologize to you, Winter, because I realized what I said could have been taken the wrong way. It made you look a certain type of way by me saying that, so I apologize. I do like the fact that she copped to it. Winter. Now, y'all, I don't want y'all to think that I'm not a part of the, the code and all of that. I get that. Okay. I love women's. I already told y'all that I would go on a dating show and make friends. I would not find a man, because that's probably just how I am. That's why I'm not competitive like that. Okay. That's probably, you know what? That's probably why I've been single for so long too. I don't have it in me. So, when Winter said to her that she still felt some type of way, and then she gets emotional in the confessionals because she says that she is for Black women and that is her sister. As a sister and as a friend, I don't understand how you could go that route. And they all end up getting emotional, which I don't have a problem with that. But what I do want Winter to realize, same thing I told her last week, that this is a competition. When it comes to a dating competition, there is really no girl code. Okay, there's a girl code as far as me not telling your personal, like, if you tell me something personally, I'm not going to tell your personal business. But when it comes to the dating competition, I don't know if it's fair to keep, like, is there a girl code that they have to follow? Like, where they need to back up off of certain men or back up out of, I don't know. I don't know. There's a certain level of girl code, yes, but I want Winter to realize that this is still a dating show, and maybe because she has that type of attitude, and I'm a lot of that same way, you guys, maybe it's not a show that she should be on. If she feels like at any point, because remember last week she said that maybe she should back up so Joy and Jay can have more. No, that's not, to me, that's not somebody who understands how this game works. And Yeah, I don't know. But she felt hurt by it, and I got it. I did get it, but I still want her to realize where she's at, right? These women are not her friends. All right, now that's just it. They not. But they all get emotional, and Simone was just like, I'm really working on myself. I'm really working on trying to do better and not, have these moments of immaturity, because these are things that have set me back in the past. I'm really working on not being this type of person. I actually am, if you want to be honest, a little bit envious of both Winter and Joy. And that was, that was complete honesty, because a lot of women would not admit that. But because they're so dainty and they're so feminine, and that's what all the guys like. And I guess she feels like she doesn't have that. She's more assertive. But what I will say is this. Yes, femininity and being dainty and all that stuff, all those things are cute, and a lot of men do like it. But I think a lot of men respect too when you put your own personality to the forefront. I don't think any man wants to be with somebody who's playing a role, and they're not really being themselves, because eventually you get found out. Eventually you can tell, you can see it. So what I would suggest to Simone, there's nothing wrong with taking on some of those more feminine traits, or cultivating, like the girls say on YouTube, cultivating your femininity. There's nothing wrong with that. I've had to work on that myself, but you want to make sure in doing so that you always are being yourself at the same time, and letting Simone shine through as well, the great parts of Simone. You can't be Winter, you can't be Joy, you are Simone, and you have to figure out a way to make all of that, you can be flirty and fabulous if you want to go for that route, but you still have to find a way to make it fit you. Okay, I got friends that are probably way, 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 way more feminine than me, but I know that I can't pull that off the way that they do. I have my own thing, and baby, now the milkshake, I do bring some of the boys to the yard. I do, but I have my own way, right? I have my own way of doing things. So I liked her honesty. I was feeling Simone for that. What did y'all think about it? And do y'all see what I'm talking about when it comes to Winter? And I do. I hope y'all don't think that I'm just like a mean girl. I get where she's coming from, because I'm that same way about women. I just I know that it doesn't work in every. It doesn't work in every environment, and this is one of those. Alrighty. So we move on. Hold on, I got Shay's name on here. Let's see what she doing. The town crier goes to address Alex about what happened with Alicia and Brian. So Alex and Alicia end up having a conversation where Alicia's just like, look, I just don't understand why he couldn't keep it real with me. Why he couldn't tell me that he wasn't coming back to my room. He told me he was coming back, and then he goes to your room. And Alex says she don't really like that either, because if he'll do that to you and not be upfront, he might do it to me. And I was like, okay, Alex, you catching on? That's good. So she goes to get Brian and say, y'all need to have a conversation. So they do. Brian gets over there, and Brian kind of tried to scapegoat the whole thing, not only with Alicia, but he did it with Chris too, because Chris went up to him directly and was just like, why did you stand her up? And he was just like, I didn't really ghost her. I kind of like zombied her, because a zombie is still there. But listen, ain't nobody got time for this. Okay, you know what you did, and you was wrong. Just say, I just have a hard time being completely honest, and just let that be what it is. We know how it goes. A lot of us ladies know. Y'all remember Married at First Sight with Zach and Mindy? What did I always used to say? A lot of men do not like to be the bad guy. They don't want to just outright tell you, I'm not feeling you, because it's hard to do, and you don't know what reaction you're going to get. So I wish he would just... I know it's hard. Women have a hard time doing it too. When guys might ask for your number or something, he'd be like, dang, he was so nice. I don't want to just tell him, nah, bruh, I'm not interested. So I think letting people down can be difficult based on your personality. But I ain't like the way Brian was trying to skirt the issue. Like, no, I ain't really stand up. Yes, you did. You did, because you told her you was coming back. And you thought she was going to find out about it. I don't know how. Brian tells her that he had good intentions. When your intentions are good, but you just kind of he running game, y'all, but you just kind of do the wrong thing. And Alicia just looking at him like, you're full of it. I don't believe you. And because of that, I'm not feeling you no more. I will not be pursuing you anymore. I said, okay, Alicia, you better take your cookie back. You are no longer invited in my room for the snacks. We not gonna cuddle. You was gonna get to get real plush and warm up on all of this, but now you're not. Okay, I don't want you to say that. I don't want to talk to you no more. All right, and on the side of Alicia, I have to say, we talked about it last week. We talked about it in the comments. Alicia leads with her sexuality. And a lot of times when you lead with your sexuality, F-boys is the result. A lot of times they are the result because they're coming for a certain thing. I wish she knew that she had. She has to know that she's got more to offer than that. I hope she knows that. But she leads with that. And a lot of times it will get you in these kind of situations where the person really ain't feeling it like that. They just trying to get what they can get out of it. In this instance though, Brian didn't even try to get what he could get. He just kind of ran off. It's not funny, I'm sorry, but that's what happened. So she pulling her cookies back. Shay, I have told you guys in the comments I want Shay gone immediately. Nothing has changed, but you have to be a plant to behave the way that Shay behaved on this scene right here. The scene with her and Rashid made me so uncomfortable. The way she was rubbing on him and she was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to twerk. What are you acting? She was giving me crackish vibes when she was showing out like that, and Rashid was just like, "Oh, well, I haven't quite seen anything. I know you ain't seen nothing like this before, Rashid. We have not seen anything like this before either, except for some people who were strongly inebriated. I could not understand why she was showing out like that and twerking. And mind you, Shay got an older daughter, so I know I'd be shamed if this was my mama on here. She got to be a plant though. She got to be getting a check to be showing out the way that she was. And the check ain't enough. It ain't enough for her to be doing all of that. So that solidified the fact that nobody's really feeling Shay like that. The whole house is not feeling her like that. But I will say, Rashid is only interested in Adriana, and that too is a problem. He needs to find somebody else because Adriana, she got a little mix going on. Speaking of Adriana, let's talk about her and Calfani. So they have a talk about love languages, and hers was, I forgot what hers was. I think his was quality time. Their date is nice, but it's making Adriana realize that when she's with Calfani, everything is like high schoolish and fun, and then when she's with Rashid, she feels safe. Now, a grown woman know you got to go with the safe, right? You got to go with where you feel safe. To me, is a better choice than fun and high schoolish because security is important. But I know every woman is different. But she is having a hard time deciding between the two. I said, girl, if you know what I know, you're gonna go with safe. But I know it's fun. You better try to figure out how to make safe fun. But she is feeling both of them. It's one of the moments where you wish you could put two men together. Have y'all ever had them thoughts like, I wish I could get your communication and then your body and then this person's sex and then I'm not talking about myself. I'm just meaning that's what I heard. Calfani, he's feeling Denise. He likes Denise, but he had a little issue with Denise. I didn't like the way Denise had tried to come to me about dealing with Adriana. Okay, I'm sorry. I think I'm moving too far ahead. Let me scratch that part. See, this is where I need to edit. Scratch that part. They finally move on to the point where it's about time for the men to get together with Tommy and decide who they want to send home. So for the glowing review, not glowing, but for the ones that people are feeling and probably are going to stay, Winter, she has some interest to some of the men. Joy has interest of more than one man. Adriana has the interest of more than one man. Those three, I think, are the ones who have the interest of more than one person. Now, as far as those who either only have the interest of one person, that would be Alex. I'm sorry, I forgot. Nia also has the interest of more than one man. Honey, when Edwin said he was interested, it was like record scratch. Honey, Chris was like, you interested in my woman? So it was Nia, it was Winter, Joy, and Adriana. They have the interest of more than one man. And then for those who only have the interest of one man, it was Alex and Denise. And then it trickled on down after that. So as far as Denise, Calfani has a little problem with her. He didn't like the way that she tried to kind of check him about who he was seeing, and he also is feeling some type of way about the whole Rashid situation. Now that he's found out about it, he didn't really like that she would say something like that, and he doesn't think that's cool for her to put that in other people's mind when she made that comment. Then we have Shay. Of course, she did not get a good review from anybody. Nobody likes Shay. Nobody's feeling Shay. She hasn't made a connection. And they all kind of feel like she's messy, just like the rest of us. She is the town crier. So I think we all kind of knew she was going home. Jay had an issue with Simone and how she tried to pretty much blast him in front of Joy. And he never expected that out of her. So he wasn't really feeling that. Who else? Of course, y'all know Rashid and his thing with Denise. Rashid did explain to everybody, though, that it is from a trigger in her past. He didn't try to make it seem like she didn't. I like the way Rashid didn't try to make it seem like she just said it and then didn't try to explain it to him. She did explain it to him, and I was glad that he brought that up in front of the other men. Then you got Brian to try to bring up Alicia, and Tommy was like, yeah, but what did you do? And I always like Tommy for that reason, because he's always going to come out and say, yeah, but what did you do? And Brian was like, I might have stood, not really stood her up. Again, there go that zombie and ghost situation. Just keep it real, Brian. But he talking about, I'm working on being more blunt. Yeah, but you brought up the fact that you wanted her gone, but then you didn't want to mention what you did. But it don't matter, because other people not feeling Alicia either. Chris in particular said, well, she told me immediately I wasn't her type. So, I ain't never really had much interaction with old girl. So when we get down to the wire, there are conversations that need to be had. Denise ends up having a conversation with Calfani, and I like the way that their conversation went. I thought it was really, really nice. I saw a side of Denise that I have not seen. It's something that comes out when she's with Calfani. She was very subdued. That voice was soft. Calfani was able to get his point across. He was able to tell her where he thought she was wrong. She was accepting it. I was like, now this is a Denise that we haven't seen. And that just let me know, baby, that it's in there. It is in there. Because I was just like, baby girl is soft. You know where we also saw it? See, this is exactly why I need to edit. The date that she had with Anthony. Wasn't that a nice date? I'd like to see Denise smiling. She was having fun, and it was a little sexual innuendo going on, but okay, if y'all like that, okay, fine. They played a little croquet, and now she has interest in more than one person, which is good, because I was getting worried about her. But I forgot to mention they had a cute little date, and even had a bet that they would jump in the pool naked. And I'm telling you, I did not think Denise was about that life. So when she took that bodysuit off and jumped in, and she looked good, and jumped in there, I was just like, oh, Denise. Then Anthony jumped in there too. I said, what happened when the cameras went off in the pool? Because let me tell you something right now. I got my chest out. I got on drawers. And Anthony ain't got no clothes on. Like, what y'all... I ain't got time. I ain't got time for Ready to Love. Because I know it couldn't be me, child. It could not be. I bet I just be sounding hot and old cooch, huh? I promise y'all I'm not. Anyways, I was glad to see another side of Denise this episode. That's all I'm trying to say. Alicia gets the speech from Chris, and I think Chris did a good job. He even lets her know, like, if you could just open up a little bit more, step outside of your box in the future. And she was like, yeah, I know. I put all y'all in the homie zone. I was only interested in Brian. So, yeah, I know. I probably do need to open up some more. See, this is where Alicia lost a lot of her support. But I know that I look good, and I got a nice body. I got a head full of real hair, and it's a whole bunch of men who want me. I said, oh, Alicia. Now, talk your ish, okay? Because if you ain't going to boost yourself, who going to do it? But you might have all that body and all that nice hair and the come F me eyes, but you was on the show looking for love like everybody else. So maybe you need to change up your approach, and maybe possibly even... change up a little bit of your attitude. She was like, I know I'm a queen. And see, that's why some of that king queen talk, I get it's supposed to be, I know it's uplifting, okay? Because, even Winter told Jay she sees the king within. I skipped their whole date because it was just more of the same, y'all. Y'all know they get real deep when they talk to each other. But sometimes I feel like when you overuse it builds up this very inflated ego that could use some humility. That's what I will say. But I don't know if that's the case for Alicia or not, but she just kind of gave me them vibes before she left. But you here looking for love like the rest of us, girls, so don't get too high up on that horse. But yeah, she got sent home. And of course Shay got sent home. I'm not even going through the speech they gave Shay, because the whole time they was talking to Shay, Shay was like this. I said, that's the look when you just like, give me my check. Okay, I got what I came here to do, so I'm going to just get my monies and leave. But they give her the speech and then she goes all home. I don't even remember who it was talking to Shay. That's how insignificant it was for me. So I think I covered all of the dates but Winter and Jay, but I already told y'all it was just more the same. And I see peace when I see you, and I see the person within when I see them two get real deep when they go on a date. But y'all let me know what y'all thought about the episode. I know I was kind of out of order. I'm just trying to direct upload so I can get it to y'all quick. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all for the next one. Bye.